Hey everybody, and welcome back to the JRPG Report. My name is Dalton Suter, and this is episode 218. And this week, we got some cool announcements for some new games coming out of Japan, some news coming out of Japan, and I do have one game that got announced that is coming from China, but I think it's right up our alley, so I think that you all will enjoy hearing about it regardless. So let's go ahead and just dive right into it, shall we? Lost Epic Early Access version 1.3.0 is now available. Publisher and developer 1 or 8 and developer Team Earth Wars have released the version 1.3 of update for the early access version of the 2D side-scrolling action RPG Lost Epic, which adds to the final area as well as new transcended weapons and secret techniques. And the details say the final area, the Abyss, awaits. Bosses from story mode will return with more power, and this update will finalize the entire main storyline of Lost Epic and will allow players to advance to the final area, the Abyss. In the Abyss, the gods known as God of Everlasting Darkness and Twin Gods await the player. As a new tiding, the Eye of Providence is obtainable. By activating the Eye of Providence, a hidden path will become visible in areas you have explored in the past. At the end of these paths, you will be able to acquire the Mist, an item necessary for further tidings and weapons. You will be able to upgrade your character by visiting areas you've already cleared, and there are returning bosses, which are bosses that you have slayed in the story but have returned more powerful. Slaying them again will lead to better equipment for the player. The new area, the Abyss, is very different from the usual sanctum you have explored, and the enemies that appear there also change. And a challenging boss battle returning boss can now be faced by the player. And the added content for this update, they have added additional elements. Story up to the ending has been implemented. The Abyss is now implemented. There's been new equipment added, new tidings, new divine skills, and quests that can be ordered from NPCs. And they have enhanced the parry, it looks like. Oh, it sounds pretty cool. It sounds like this game is coming along quite nicely. So if you're interested in that, you can find Lost Epic on Steam in early access. Publisher Playism and developer Daraneko Games have launched a choose-your-own-adventure RPG, The Use of Life, in early access for PC on Steam for $17.99. And the company has announced that it supports English, Japanese, simplified Chinese, and traditional Chinese language options. In the early access version of the game, you will only be able to play partway through the story, including the first major branch in the story and the first dungeon of each individual route. The full version of the game is expected to launch within a year to a year and a half. And here is an overview of the game for those interested. The Use of Life is a solo-developed indie game created in the image of a choose-your-own-adventure book with multiple ending capabilities. Playism will be releasing this title with full English and Japanese support. Today, the demo will be released in English. Early access for this game will release in the spring of 2022. In this game, the decisions you make heavily affect your character's stats as well as his way of thinking. The ending you get depends on your way of traversing through your adventure or your usage of life. The way the protagonist uses their quote-unquote life for their own gain or for others is fully within the control of the player. Since the ending result from the player's decision, there is no strictly good or bad ending. And the narration and flow of this game takes place much like that of a choose-your-own-adventure book, with some tabletop RPG-style dice-rolling elements for events. Even the results of instances of events can be changed based on the decisions made. Whether you throw yourself into battle or to play it safe depends solely on the player. These decisions made will change the way the protagonist thinks and sees the world around. So yeah, keep your eye out for some more information about this game coming out. It looks really cool. It jumped out to me. The screenshots I see, the battle screen is very reminiscent of the older Final Fantasies as far as the layout of the battle. It looks cool. I think it's going to be a cool. And Bandai Namco, some news from them, they dropped new details on One Piece Oddessy, on some gameplay, and one of the first in-system looks at the game since its announcement in March 2022. Prior reveals focused more on the characters, art, and the series creator, but now the information that was published in its current state of, in the current issue of Japan's V-Jump manga magazine, as well as shared on the Twitter via an update on the One Piece Odyssey official site gameplay section. The site update consists of screenshots that show two halves of One Piece Odyssey gameplay, battle and adventure. The adventure portion of the game involves exploring environments and getting past obstacles using the unique skills of the Straw Hat Pirates. The site mentions using things like Luffy's qualities as a rubber man or Frankie's ability to improvise tools and ways forward. Other screens show Zoro cutting through an iron gate with his sword and Chopper standing quietly in a cave. The battle gameplay screens from One Piece Odyssey also confirm that the game operates on a familiar turn-based command-style battle system. Hooray! Score one for the turn-based players. The team strives to make things unique to One Piece by allowing players to, quote-unquote, achieve victory by involving the Straw Hat Pirates. An accompanying screen shows off battle interface as well. In the screen, Luffy, Nico, Name, and Sanji face off against some monsters. Battle actions can be selected using the shoulder buttons, with triangle appearing to determine strategy. A warning at the top of the screen instructs players to move Sanjay to Robin's area and defeat one enemy before Robin is incapacitated, implying that various opportunities can come up mid-battle. The characters also appear to have elemental qualities in a rock-paper-scissors-like triangle. For example, Luffy and Sanji are assigned red fists, which have the advantages against orange guns, Name's element, which in turn beat green swords, which is Robin's element. Other screens of One Piece Odyssey battle gameplay shows Luffy performing the Gum Gum Gatling move on a creature. One Piece Odyssey is in development for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox S and PC, and it is due out sometime in 2022. We got some news coming out of Square Enix. It seems that June 2022 Final Fantasy VII's 25th anniversary announcements could include something related to Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. A Japanese trademark appeared on May 20th, 2022 related to the game, and Square Enix first filed for them on May 12th, 2022. As expected, it covers a number of fronts, like software. There are a few situations a new Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade trademark could apply to. This could perhaps relate to ports. The game first debuted on PS4 in April 2020 before the Intergrade version showed up on the PS5 in June 2021. The PC iteration of it then showed up on the Epic Games Store in December 2021. And due to timing and exclusivity arrangements, this could mean an Xbox release is on the way. Or, since Square Enix did so with Kingdom Hearts, a Switch Cloud version. The next round of Final Fantasy VII announcements will come in June of 2022. Tetsuya Nomura confirmed that during the second Final Fantasy VII the First Soldier livestream, he didn't name any specific games that could appear. However, in addition to the remake and Battle Royale title, Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is in development. There could also be news about the next part of the remake. So keep your ears and eyes peeled for that, because that could be some cool news coming in the next month. So some Xenoblade Chronicles 3 news. In Xenoblade Chronicles 3, every one of the 6 main party members fills a certain role. Nintendo's earlier announcements went over that. Now, people can better visualize what that means. That's because Xenoblade Chronicles 3 attacker, defender, and healer videos are now available, and each one shows how one specific character would behave in a fight. The first Xenoblade Chronicles 3 video focuses on Noah acting as an attacker. He's constantly focused on dealing damage to the opponent in the teaser, and it also shows backstabbing sorts of attacks someone could do when a foe is distracted by allies. Next is a Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Defender video starring Lance. After he attacks the enemy and deals damage, it shows how the foe will stop targeting someone like Noah and go after him instead. And finally, there's Xenoblade Chronicles 3 healer videos that actually doesn't show Uni healing. Instead, it focuses on something else the supporter can do. While she's attacking an opponent with other allies, it appears she uses her myopic screen attack, which then leaves a toppled enemy dazed. So it looks like that there's going to be, attack, heal, defend, and like support. Healers and support can do like the same character type thing. That's pretty cool. If you would like to check out these videos for yourself, they are on Twitter at Nintendo Europe is who posted them. And they look interesting, man. I'm telling you, the more and more I see about this game, the more and more I want to go back and play 1 and 2. I need to get around to that, seriously. But Xenoblade Chronicles 3 will come to the Nintendo Switch on July 29th, 2022. So get hyped. So publishers P-Cube and developer Vivo Interactive have announced Nexamon plus Nexamon Extinction Complete Collection for PlayStation 4 and Switch, which includes both Nexamon games in one package. It will launch in 2022, and pre-orders are available now at Funstock. So here's an overview of these games if you've never played them. I have Nexamon Extinction on Steam, and it is wonderful. It's like a Pokemon-esque game, but we'll get into that with this. Return once again to the classic monster catching and experience the complete Nexamon story with 2 epic adventures in one. The key features: battle and tame hundreds of Nexamon, with more than 600 Nexamon from 9 different elemental types to discover throughout the wild encounters and level-based evolution. Creating a team that matches your playstyle is effortless. Explore the vast and varied world. From freezing tundra and arid desert to dense forest and glorious beaches, the world of Nexamon is expansive and varied. Make new friends and battle evil foes. A hero is nothing without friends at their side and adversaries attempting to thwart them at every move. Nexamon boasts an extensive roster of unique characters with narrative and twists in a world-spanning story of good versus evil, and become a Nexamon Grandmaster. Go from humble beginnings with a wide array of starter Nexamon to building the ultimate team and battle your way to victory to save the world. From unknown sources, we have heard that there have been new Nexamon spotted in the wild. Keep an eye out for these new extremely rare Nexamon in Nexamon's upcoming post-game content, which will be included in the complete collection. So yeah, if that sounds up your alley, definitely check it out. I can give it a hearty pip. It's very good. I really enjoy it. If you like Pokemon style games, but you kind of want something a little different than Pokemon with a little different style of humor and gameplay, I really recommend you check Nexamon out. Look into it. You may really enjoy it. And up next, this is probably going to be our cover story this week. Trinity Trigger, a new action RPG from Furyu for PS5, PS4, and Switch, launches September 15th in Japan. So Trinity Trigger is the title of the new action RPG first teased by publisher Furyu and developer 3 Rings late last week. Now removed listings at Bicamera have revealed it will launch for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Switch on September 15th in Japan for 8,580 yen. Here's an overview of the game. A 90s era traditional RPG experience for the modern age. Completely new title from developers who have previously worked on traditional fantasy RPGs, and it's a story about a young man caught up in fate It's a story about a young man caught up in fate who will save the world. The excitement of exploring fields and discovering treasure, and action-based gameplay where you pave your own path to victory. This is a straightforward fantasy RPG like never before, for those who were once children and have grown up, and for children of today, playable alone or with others. And here they gave an overview of the story. The legend goes, long ago, the gods of order and the gods of chaos fought to control the world. Great weapons fell to the land, and the world began to collapse. Each god chose a proxy, a warrior of the gods, and it was decided that a winner would be determined by battles between the warriors. And so, time passed. Cyan, a young man who lived quiet life in a small village, one day learns that he is a warrior of chaos chosen by the gods. Burdened with a cruel fate, he sets out on a journey to fight against destiny with Eris and Xanthus, who joined him as if guided to him. Together, the 3 can change their fate, or so it is to be believed. And some key features for this game coming up are classic isometric action for the modern age. Classic isometric action with a 90s era feel, polished for the modern age. Fight in action-based battles by switching between a total of 8 weapon types using the ring change system. Victory is determined not only by finding an enemy's opening and circumstance, but also by using the weapons they are weakest against. Enjoy a battle style all your own by putting together your own combos, weapon upgrades, and effects. And with more than 60 area maps, including lush forests with glowing mushrooms, snowy mountains, deserts, ice, and fire, with numerous treasure chests, cuttable weeds, breakable rocks, and paths not obvious at first sight, dungeon exploration offers an endless sense of discovery. Tons of diverse mechanics will ensure that you not travel to each map on a linear path. And there are also plenty of discoveries to be made via the people you meet in towns. You may even uncover treasures by talking to them. To discover the truth of this world, it is essential to hear out the stories of its oppressed people. And there have been release of the covers for each of the systems, PS5, PS4, and Switch, and then some in-game screenshots as well. This looks and sounds fantastic. I can only hope that this comes over here to the West, because my goodness, this is right up the alley of so many of the old school JRPG fans that, oh man, I got goosebumps just thinking about playing this game. Like, oh, I really want to I really want to play. I really hope it comes over here. I do. Up next, we had a new Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes trailer that focused on the Black Eagles. Another Fire Emblem Warrior 3 Hopes trailer is here, and this time it involves the Black Eagles characters from the Adrestian? Yeah, that's... Man, I'm having a hard time pronouncing words today. Sorry, folks. Adrestian Empire. As with the Fargus Blue Lion characters, they will look a bit different than they did in Fire Emblem Three Houses. This is due to the timing and setting for this Musou. As in Fire Emblem Three Houses, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes will involve players following routes connected to certain factions, and this will influence the story and people around you. Like the Blue Lions character trailer, the Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes Black Eagles 1 begins with its leader, Edelgard. People get a chance to see her up close in her character portrait, and then they can see her attack with her axe, and after that, her second in command, Hubert, appears. He uses magic to rain down pain on enemies. From there, other members of the house appear. First, Dorothea shows up and uses magic. Bernadetta appears with her bow. Ferdinand shows up on horseback with his lance, and next Casper wields an axe for his segment. Meanwhile, Petra comes armed with 2 daggers for quick strikes. The trailer ends with a look at Lindhart, who also uses magic to attack. So if you would like to check out that trailer, I have retweeted that over on our Twitter. And this game's... I love the Warriors games, and anytime they do these spin-offs for classic games that I like, especially like Fire Emblem or Dragon Quest, dude, I love it. I love it. I don't know what it is. It's such a cool little mash. In my opinion, at least. So up next, this is just something that like jumped out to me. So if y'all scoff at it, I'm sorry. But the Square Enix store has announced that they are making a Kingdom Hearts Kingdom Keyblade replica available for pre-order. What makes this handheld replica unique is that it's able to project light from the top of the Keyblade. It is immediately available to pre-order in Japan, North America, and Europe, and it will cost $59.99 and will ship sometime in January 2023 in North America. It will release in Japan on September 17th, 2022. While the Kingdom Hearts Kingdom Key Keyblade handheld replica, man, that is a mouthful, is capable of lighting the way. The projection it emits is more than just a ray of light. The light projected from the Keyblade replica will take the form of a keyhole. It will also come with a keychain feature featuring the King Mickey motif. You can take a look at the item below, and it shows some screenshots of it. Man, it looks sweet. I would hang this on the wall proudly. I really would. Square Enix has announced the production and release of more than a handful of pieces of Kingdom Hearts merchandise. Some of these items have been announced to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the series, and previously, Square Enix revealed that it would release a line of inspired luggage for the series anniversary. So if you want some Kingdom Hearts, some luggage, they got you covered, man. They got you covered. And speaking of some Square Enix news, Final Fantasy XIV 6.11a patch notes detail on the PvP adjustments. So if you're a player of Final Fantasy XIV, I personally used to really like the PvP in that game. I haven't played in a while, but I know a lot of people give it a lot of crud for its PvP. But I personally enjoyed it. But yeah, Square Enix released the patch notes for Final Fantasy XIV's patch 6.11a, which detail further adjustments to PvP and job actions. Additionally, they reveal that the players will no longer be able to automatically log out of the game after 30 minutes of inactivity. This was originally put in place due to server congestion during the initial release of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Months later, Square Enix has now chosen to remove the timer. However, the most significant information in this patch notes concerns various adjustments to PvP. The patch notes detail the changes to various job actions that have been made based on the win rate and playability of each individual job class. Job classes that will see adjustments through the patch include Gunbreaker, Bard, Machinist, or Mechanist, whichever you like to call it, Dancer, Black Mage, Summoner, Red Mage, and Astrologian, or Astrologian, whichever one you prefer to call it. Black Mage will be the most significantly changed job class. Further adjustments to the job actions will appear through Final Fantasy XIV patch 6.15 once it releases. Additionally, some adjustments have been made to the Crystalline conflict matching system. Players who are in the Crystalline or the Crystal tier are now able to match with other players who are in the Diamond 3 with 1 Rising Star or higher. And they plan on adjusting the matching system again through further updates. So, hopefully they didn't nuke your favorite class. Or, if somebody was too powerful, and maybe other people are going to be excited to hear that somebody got nuked. Let me know, because I've been thinking about going back and playing some 14. So if you still play, let me know how PvP is these days. So up next, I bring this up because me and James have had this conversation before, and we both say that 100% this game is absolutely a JRPG. And Capcom opened a new website celebrating the 10th anniversary of the release of Dragon's Dogma. It also released a new illustration commemorating the occasion, along with a message to fans from director Hideaki Itsuno. The new website also includes a timeline of past releases from remasters to the recent Netflix anime adaptation. Dragon's Dogma originally released for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 in Japan on May 24th, 2012. The game featured an open world where players could control a customizable character and fight monsters in a quest to defeat the dragon that stole their heart. The game was praised for its scale and variety of combat. And what's funny to me is if you go on Steam and you go look up Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, because that's the version that I have, go look through the Steam comments or the reviews. Almost all those Steam reviews are like, this game is Elden Ring before Elden Ring was Elden Ring. And they're not wrong. I mean, they're not right, but they're not wrong. I can definitely see where they're coming from on that. So Capcom later ported the game to PC in 2016, as well as the Xbox One and PS4 in 2017. The enhanced version of the game, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, released for the Nintendo Switch in 2019, and most recently, the Dragon's Dogma original Netflix animation aired in September of 2020. The website, available in multiple languages, is somewhat bare bones. A message from the game's director, Hideaki Itsuno, thanks to fans for their continued support through the years, and it says how they are forever grateful. Below the message is a timeline of the game releases, including the most recent anime adaptation. Furthermore, the Japanese version of the timeline also lists other media, such as spin-off manga, novels, mobile games, and MMORPGs. And that is one game that never came over here that makes me so sad. Along with Dragon Quest X, I think it is the Dragon's Dogma Online. Oh, it would have been so good. It would have been so good. Oh, we could have all went in there and slayed some dragons together and stuff. Oh, it would have been peachy. Okay, so here's the game. If you don't want to hear about a Chinese RPG, just skip ahead a couple minutes. But this game sounds really cool to me and looks really cool, so I really wanted to cover it, and I hope that you all will look into it as well. So Chinese studio Xiaoming Games have announced Codename Wandering Sword, a wuxia-style pixel art RPG reminiscent of Square Enix's HD 2D titles. It will launch for PC via Steam with English, simplified Chinese, and traditional Chinese language support. A release date, though, has not been given yet. You will play as a young man who is accidentally involved in a feud and gets seriously poisoned. But luckily, the sect leader of the Wudang comes to your aid and saves you. And since then, you dream to become a great wuxia and enter the Central Plains. It will have a huge open world, including areas such as the Central Plains, Jiangnan, the western regions, Nanjiang, Tianshan Mountain, and more. And the players can explore the prosperous towns, secret caves, forts, strongholds, and other unique scenic places. With Unreal Engine 4, a new pixel style was created in the game. It switches pixel art games to the 3D environment, giving a new blend of retro pixels and 3D reality. This game not only harks back to the pixelated wuxia games of the MS-DOS area, but it also brings us modernized visual effects and a better gaming experience. By the way, if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. It's WUXIA. I think that's wuxia, but I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But anyways, if you're a fan of strategy games, you can select traditional turn-based combat and outmaneuver your enemies. If you want to take things into your own hands, you can select the real-time combat mode to have an excellent battle and defeat enemies through precise action inputs. All the powerful abilities and moves are yours to pick. You can equip different types of weapons and join various sects. Learning cultivation methods can help earn you meridian points, and practicing both internally and externally makes you a true martial arts master. Most NPCs in the game have friendship systems. You can increase an NPC's affinity towards you by interacting with them via gift giving, sparring, talking, etc. And you can also recruit them to your party and travel the world together. NPCs of different sects will have different Zhangyu abilities, and when you have a good relationship with them, they will even give you their weapons and secret manuals to help you dominate the martial arts world and excel in all aspects. The different choices the player makes in the game lead to different endings. Other than the main story, there are a great number of side quests for the player to explore with hidden, unexpected adventures. And most NPCs in the game will have their own behavioral AI. This will get themselves martial arts manuals and grow their power. Or they will get themselves martial arts manuals and grow their power, weaving their own unique stories. So I don't know about you guys. That sounds awesome. I am really looking forward to this. I'm going to put this on my wish list as soon as it's available up there. And I'm going to pick it up and play it because that sounds super cool. And I am all down for that. Nintendo, in other news, Nintendo has shared new videos for the Live Alive, whatever you want to call it, Shinobi story in Edo, Japan, Wild West tale, and near future adventure. Each trailer introduces new characters who will appear in the game, and people can learn about each of the Live Alive time period's plight and see a few allies who will join heroes like Oboromaru, the Sundown Kid, and Akira. They also show new screenshots from the Edo storyline. So if you would like to see this, I will be sure to share this out because a lot of this is just video and screenshots. But I can tell you from the screenshots, this game is looking quite crisp. The lighting and the shadowing and stuff, it looks fantastic, even for 2D. And yeah, I will be sure to post this out if I haven't already. Check it out. I hope that people buy into these HD 2D type remakes so they do more of them because there are so many of those older games that could use being brought up to par, and then this whole new generation of people could experience these wonderful games that we had back in the day. So Japanese delinquent high school strategy RPG Banchao Tactics announced for PC. Publisher Fly High Works, Bangkok-based developer Secret Character, and investor Isaramata have announced turn-based strategy RPG Banchao Tactics for Steam. Banchao Tactics is a strategy-based turn-based role-playing game in a Japanese gangster high school. This game is inspired by Crows, a Japanese manga, River City Ransom, and Final Fantasy Tactics. For several years of conflict, there were bloody struggles between 3 high schools around the area somewhere in Japan. This madness played off by 3 schools: Sakai High School, Nakamura Technical High School, and Minato High School. They engaged in many a fierce battle with the aim to show who's the boss in town. When Kitagawa Saichi, the Demon King of Minato High School, just graduated last year, all the balance of 3 power came to doubt once again. The game is set in Minato High School and the focus on Taiga Arashi. Some of the key features of this game to look out for: high quality 2D pixels on a 3D stage, turn-based strategy game, blood group system, special attacks, knockback systems, and combo systems. So we'll have more information on this game as it comes out, but that sounds like something that could be interesting. And some in this week in JRPG history, on May 23rd in Japan, Atelier Marie, the Alchemist of Salzburg for the PS1, the very first game in the Atelier series, released 25 years ago, May 23rd, 1997, which I just think is cool because I've heard so much good about that series. I've never played it. I own a bunch of them, but I've never played them. The story of my life. And then also in this week in JRPG history, Xenoblade Lacrimosa of Dana, which we just did a Sunday special of the soundtrack of just a couple weeks ago. That game came out 5 years ago on PS4. I cannot believe it's been 5 years since that game came out. What a soundtrack, what a fun game, what a storyline. I recommend that game to anybody, even if you're not even an Ys fan. Like if you've never played an Ys game, what a great place to start. Because all the way the Ys works is all the stories are kind of all over the place. You don't really have to play one to know what's going on, you know? So yeah, if you haven't checked out Xenoblade Lacrimosa of Dana, please do. It's wonderful. Another little random story that I thought was pretty cool. Yoshitaka Amano draws Batman for the Detective Comics cover. Best known for his work on the Final Fantasy franchise, artist Yoshitaka Amano has been commissioned by comics publisher DC to create a Batman series variant cover. The Yoshitaka Amano Detectives comic cover was revealed in DC's solicitations for August 2022. And I will tweet out these pictures because they look awesome. The Yoshitaka Amano Batman cover is a 1:25 variant This means that one variant edition will be printed for every, 1 in 25 variant, which means that one variant will be printed every 25 standard editions, making it more scarce by default. Another variant cover with art by X-Men artist Jim Lee, inker Scott Williams, and colorist Alex Sinclair will be printed at a 1:50 ratio. The issue is expected to cost $4.99 USD for the standard and $5.99 for the variants. I might have to go pick that up because this artwork is awesome. If you love that that Final Fantasy artwork that is like so iconic, this is awesome. This is awesome. So I will tweet this out so everyone can check out these pictures and keep your eye out, man, because this might be worth some money one day, you know? And a little bit on the sad news side, Sony confirms that people can't transfer PS3 games to a Vita anymore. When May 10th, 2022, PS3 and Vita firmware updates arrived, people reported an inability to transfer their games from a PS3 to a Vita. Now Sony offered an official update. This is not a bug. Rather, it's a permanent change to the system's functionality. Sony noted that this change only affects PS3 games transfers to a Vita. It does not alter the ability to transfer content like games and save data to and from a PC. For that, a Vita owner could get the Content Manager Assistant and connect to a Windows or Mac PC to manage content. So all of those classic JRPGs that you have that are on the old systems that you have on your Vita and your PS3, man, they're making it harder and harder to play them. Oh, it's so... You know, I don't recommend piracy at all when it comes to things that are readily available. But these games that you cannot find anywhere else, dude, just go download them. Like, they're not making money off those games anymore. Play them on an emulator or jailbreak your Vita PS3 and play them that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the company is no longer, if it is not available on any of their storefronts, they are no longer making money off of it, and it is only the third-party people who are making money off of it, and it's, say, $300 to $400 for one of the games that you want to play, dude, go pirate it. Seriously, just go download it. Like, it does not affect Sony one bit. Does that make sense? And if you like it, if you play that game and you like that game and that developer has released something that has recently come out for one of the consoles that you do own and it is readily available, then boom, they might get a sale because you are now a fan of that particular company. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Please leave me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts. Send me an email. I would really like to hear people's thoughts on that, because they're just making it harder and harder to access these older games, you know, and especially when it comes to like digital content and stuff like that. Like, it's iffy. It's a wishy-washy type thing. On PC, it's been pretty much digital only for a long time. And I feel like Steam and PC handles it so much better than these console companies. And I just don't understand why. I really don't. But yeah, on that note, the only other thing that I had is that the Chocobo GP racing game is getting a Balam Garden track from Final Fantasy VIII, which, I mean, I've never played the game, but Balam Garden is one of my favorite places in any Final Fantasy game, and the music is just wonderful. So I thought that was an interesting little thing, but that was about all I have. And I hate to end this episode on that little rant that I had, but it's just something that I feel strongly about, and I'd like to hear more from you all. So I guess for the housekeeping that we have here, or as I call it over on the Steam Machine podcast, house cleaning, because I'm dumb. If you would like to follow us over on social media, you can find us at facebook.com/the JRPG Report. Twitter is more your thing. You can find the show at JRPG Report, or you can find me at Super Nerd Dalton. I keep the JRPG Report family friendly. My personal Twitter is not quite as family friendly, but if you'd like to come follow me anyway, I'm on there at that. I do want to plug the Patreon because it literally helps me keep the lights on. Thank you to everyone who donates to the Patreon, with a special shout out to everyone who's been watching my Let's Plays that I'm doing over there. I asked the Patreon what were some things that they wanted to have more of an incentive and more like quality for the content over there to make it worth your money. And we wanted a Discord. So I made the Patreon JRPG Report Discord. As soon as you join the Patreon, you're welcome to join into the Discord. And also I'm doing a Let's Play series of games that are classic JRPGs that I've actually never gotten around to playing. And I'm starting off with Final Fantasy VI, and parts 1 through 3 are now up on the Patreon. If you want to go check those out, they're also, I post the links in the Discord. If you're already in there, you can just click them in there. Either way works. They're unlisted on YouTube, and I think once the entire series is done, I will list them all and put them up for all of you listeners to watch later at a later point. But I kind of want to just give, the Patreon a little something extra, if that makes sense, for helping me keep the lights on. And speaking of, I'd like to give them a shout out to Kim C, Jake W, Jordan K, Tara, Kularian, Taylor F, Luke C, and Master Loot. You all rock. And if you'd like to hear more from me throughout the month or the weeks or whatever you'd like to call it, you can find me over on the Steam Machine podcast, which is a PC gaming podcast for me and my two co-hosts, Nate and Willie. Play through my huge backlog of PC games. I believe tonight, as I'm recording this, tonight I'll be recording with those guys, and we are going to be talking about Half-Life. And then the next episode that we have planned from 2 weeks from now is going to be Yakuza 0. So I'm pumped about that because that's my show choice. That's my game, my pick. So if you enjoy hearing me talk here, come check me out over there. I'd say that show's like PG-13 leaning into R. But if you want to hear the Kevin Smith level stuff, check me out over on Yabspod, yet another BS podcast. But you have been warned. I think that's going to about do it for this episode of the JRPG Report. Again, my name is Dalton Suter. I appreciate. My goodness, I was so close to doing a good outro. So close. I appreciate each and every one of you for listening. And until next time, get out there and level up.